Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tiger Nexus podcast. I'm your host, Hi Tiger. This is the podcast where we interview content creators and geeks of the such. And today, I'm joined by a podcaster, a collector, a very funny man. And if you ever do meet him in person, then you have to ask him if you ever met a Yeti, and you'll understand when you meet him. Welcome, Billy.
Wow, I do know a Yeti.
I know. That's what I meant. That's what I said.
Oh.
I mean, Yetis aren't real. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, there's like they can't see, but I'm having to wink hard.
yes,
Yeah.
very wink, wink. We don't know any Yeti at all. Anyway, Hi Billy, how are you?
It's not bad. Literally just walked in the door from work today, and I said I don't want to keep Ty up too long because I know there's a 6-hour difference. So let's get right into this. Yeah.
So Billy's from Texas. I'm in the UK. So for Billy now, it is what time for you?
Oh, it is 5:30 p.m.
And it is 11:30 p.m. for me, so it's almost tomorrow for me. By the time we're done with this, I will be in the land of tomorrow.
Oh man, time traveler.
Yes, that is it. Yeah. So, Billy, tell us exactly when it comes to. I mentioned you do a podcast. Explain that one to us.
So basically, it's a podcast with me and my brother that we created a long time, 2 years ago now, and we just basically talk about nerdy things, movies, shows, our recent pickups and toys. We actually go to cons together now. It's become something bigger than what it should have been. And now it's just all sorts of things. Like, we banter. The one thing that I think that's different from our podcast to other podcasts is that we don't have notes. Like, we let the conversation like naturally develop over the episode. And I think that's what sets us apart from people. We've created a network as well, which was unexpected, and we've met some of the most amazing people there. And like, as you know, you're part of it, and you see, and you see what we've created, and who we help, and you know, it's a fun experience. It's a very fun podcast, and today, still to this day, Jim can't sleep at night because the name is so close to that Zeo To Hero from Disney. So the song. So it bothers him. So I like that.
But that's funny. Yeah, that's from Hercules, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. Yep. That's right.
Hey, that was a banger, man. I don't care what anyone says. That was a banger song.
Right.
You've kind of like made a brand for yourself. And by the way, I also don't make notes. Everything that I talk about comes off the fly. So some people need to make notes. I know Jared from the If You Give Dad a Podcast. I know depending on the guest, he does make some notes. Each their own. Everyone's different. But I personally don't. I feel like I can kind of wing it okay without it.
That's right.
So yes. So far, I've been doing all right, I think.
Well, you've done good. So I've been listening to everyone, and like Jared says, you definitely have the gift of gab. So, and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So you've definitely got a brand going on, a community. People who don't know, I'm one of these people, and so far every guest I've had have actually been part of the Zeo To Hero community. We are all on the Discord, and it's just like what Billy said. It's full of banter. It's very funny. We're quipping each other. We're bantering with each other. It's all for the faint-hearted. It's all taken lightly. It's all funny. Mm-hmm. So how did the podcasting start? How did Zeo To Hero come to be?
Oh man, let's see. It started during COVID. Jim actually was laid off his job because he had to travel. So during COVID, he was not able to travel.
Damn.
So he started his own company, doing editing work for podcast people like other ones. And he came up to me one day and was like, "Hey, let's do a podcast. Like, I know the ins and outs on it." And it took me 2 months to agree to it because I was always customer service. Like, I was always talking face to face with people.
Yeah.
And the hardest part, I think, the transition was talking through a computer screen. And we just started up one day. We kind of got a little emphasis of what we wanted, and I was like, well, we grew up nerds. We love the same thing. We connected over the same thing. Like, and then we started looking on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook, and there's communities, and I was like, well, hey, we'll fit right in. And so we picked it, and we're huge Power Ranger fans, so we created the name, or I created the name Zeo To Hero, because in Zeo, you know, they're not. Oh, how do I explain it? Like they're nobodies at that point.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Zero, throughout the season, they become something of themselves. So
Yeah.
that's how we kind of got with that, you know, and Zeo To Hero. So like, and then people we talk to, we interview people that would never have a chance on a bigger podcast, and we give them a voice. And you know, we do creators, content creators, story writers. We just recently did a Power Rangers Expo. They do like big shows like Power Morphicon and stuff like that. And you know, we just recently started getting into more show promoters.
Yeah, that's really cool, and you've definitely given a lot of us a platform. Mark the Red Cornish Ranger, Cosmic 267, and myself wouldn't actually know each other without Zeo To Hero. I actually found your TikTok, the Zeo To Hero TikTok, through Mark because he was talking about it, and that's where I found your video saying that you're looking for people. And I believe that's the very first time I messaged you. Actually, was actually on TikTok. I was like, "Hey, I'm a Power Ranger nerd. I can talk for like 3 hours. Like, you know, I could be on the podcast." And yeah, like you said, you've been going on for like what, 2 years now.
Yeah. I think we're just about to clip 2 years. Yeah.
And you know, you've had you know, the Discord's always thriving. There's loads of people talking and stuff. Don't you upload every single week?
Yeah, we do we try to record Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesdays, and then we release Thursday night, but we don't really promote it until like Friday. So, but we try to do every Friday. There's, you know, sometimes we can't because like last year, Jim actually took 2 weeks off to go to Michigan and stuff, so we didn't really post on it for 2 weeks, and I honestly didn't know what to do with myself for 2 weeks. I'm so used to doing this every week.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Was, you know, because yeah, you guys, you know, you live in the same place, but there's actually quite a like a drive between you, isn't there? Like,
yeah, it's I think it is a 2.5 hour drive between me and him. Yeah.
Damn. So that's almost the same time amount of time between me and Mark, actually. Almost. I think me and Mark is like 3 hours and a bit, I think.
Oh, wow.
So but yeah, when it comes to the podcast itself, how easy or hard it could fall into either category, like how difficult is it to keep up on it, you know, finding guests, you know, finding topics to talk about? Like, is it easy, is it hard? How are you finding that?
Man, okay, so the hard part is finding guests. That one's the tough one because a lot of people don't really check their messages, or like my messages go right to request, and you know, you completely forget about those.
Yep.
And I find more guests on TikTok because you can interact with them in comments before you like message them.
Yeah, that's true.
And the content it's actually pretty easy because there's always something to talk about. Especially in like the nerd culture, there's always a show going on. There's always a movie. There's always new toys coming out. There's toy brands. There's always some sort of like toy drama with like the big like conglomerates like Hasbro, Super 7. There's always something going on. So there's always something to talk about. It's super easy. But yeah, the hardest part I think is finding guests. That's the tough part.
So yeah, I've actually just come in contact with someone on Instagram. He's a Power Ranger content creator on Instagram.
Oh.
I don't think he's on anything else. I believe he uploads some stuff on TikTok, but not majorly. And a lot of people know his artwork and stuff, if you're like a big fan of Power Rangers Wild Force especially. And I actually had to leave comments on his posts because my messages were going straight through to like his, you know, discard like folder sort of thing. So like, because now he actually follows me, so now we're actually talking, and so we're now trying to plan a weekend where I can actually do an episode with him, which would be so cool because that'd be my first like proper interview with someone that isn't Zeo To Hero that I don't know personally, you know, that sort of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That one's going to be intriguing. What's it like meeting new people? Like, how is it knowing that you're interviewing someone that you don't know personally?
That's the fun part, because like just seeing their stuff is fun, but actually diving into their thought process that's what gets me going. Like, I like how people think. I like how seeing the gears turn, the thought process that they do, the bullet points. Our favorite one is Casey from Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories. He is like one of our favorite guests because we try to do an hour-long episode with him, but we're talking to him another 3 hours after recording because he just has like the most interesting thought process of how he comes up with these conspiracy theories for Power Rangers and the deep dives he does, and like he finds the little niche things in episodes that we would never have seen.
Yeah, that.
So,
I've listened to that episode of yours. That was definitely a good one. Has there been any guests that have been like, you don't have to name anybody, but has there been any guests that have been like really hard to schedule with, really hard to like talk to, actually make an episode with?
oh yeah, we've had a couple where like they talked a lot and it's fun, like the messages, but once we got them on a recording, that it was just like it was really hard to get answers out of them. Like you can ask them something and then immediately it was just a short answer, and we're just trying to stumble to try and create like dialogue to help, and it was yeah, that was tough. That one was a while back though. That was a long time ago. But yeah, that was the hardest part, was because we were trying to sit there and start a conversation with dialogues and stuff, and it was just, they weren't giving it to us, like feeding our energy and stuff.
Billy is so hard trying not to say my name right now.
No. But they were in England as well, so. But yeah.
Mark, what did you do?
Let's get them. Oh man.
So when obviously you've branded yourself Zeo To Hero as a Power Ranger like name and stuff. Do you like? Is there like a drive in you to make it so you find people that aren't Power Ranger related because you've like dubbed yourself a Power Ranger sort of like podcast name?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've actually started reaching out to more people. One example is Taven the Caveman. He's actually huge into Marvel, and he does like a lot of toy collecting for Marvel and dioramas for like set pieces in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he's so fun to talk to as well. And we would try to branch out more and more to other brands as well. So like maybe we can get somebody that collects nothing but Super 7, or Cody from Too Much New Toys. His Instagram, he actually collects a lot of like Ninja Turtle products and stuff. So we love talking to him about the newest Ninja Turtles, the newest shows, the newest, he does like a lot of Super 7 as well. So it's always fun to talk to other people outside Power Rangers too, because then it gets me hooked, and then I'm starting to actually go to the stores and I notice these new toys and stuff, and I'm starting to send pictures to him. I was, hey, look, this is a new Krang, and he's like, oh no, I didn't know that was already out, and I'm about to start go looking. I'm like, well, now I just ruined this guy, so.
Yeah, actually, tell that to truth. Well, the reason why I started collecting the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. I'm nothing compared to anyone, but I've got 4 figures now, I think, which, can I just say, in the UK, they're extremely hard to come by in stores. So, like, I have to buy them off, like, Amazon and, like, websites like that. So, like, I have to, like, wait for postage, or, like, pricing can be really tricky. So I do only have 4 at the minute, but I'm slowly getting there.
Yeah, and I love how when y'all post pictures, like, look what I just got, and what do me and Jimmy say all the time? We are like, you'll make us so proud.
Yeah, I always for a fun little trivia for everyone out there. I always at Billy's on the Discord community. I always at Billy, so Billy can see whenever I got something Power Ranger or Funko Pop related. I'm like, Billy, look what I got. You're gonna be proud of me.
I'm over there. I'm at work, just like crying at my machine. I'm like, so proud.
You're like a proud dad that nobody had,
Exactly. There it is. Yeah, that's right.
So when it comes to having, a Discord community, you've got plenty of people on there and stuff. Will it ever be difficult if, like, let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say Jim no longer wanted to do it. Do you think you better, like, keep up the podcast, or do you think you'd stop the podcast? Would the Discord disappear? Like, what would ever happen if the podcast itself had to stop?
Well, the Discord would definitely be going because there's so many cool people on there. Like, I just could not let that go. But yeah, the podcast would stop, but until I can figure out how to do it myself, then I'll just be probably running around my backyard with the mic in my hand screaming, you know.
Why can I see that? That's funny.
Yeah. Why does everybody say that? Like they could see me doing that still, yeah.
Because bro, that's exactly something you would do.
Yeah, you know it.
Like that's exactly what would happen, man. So would you ever consider getting another co-host? Because Jim is your co-host, or would you not?
Right.
Would you stick to like interviewing people?
I would just stick to myself for a while. Yeah, and then I mean, I can reach out to all these people. It's easy to do. But at some point, I would definitely get a co-host because it's kind of hard to talk to myself when there's nobody on. So,
see, this is the this is the point where I'm kind of at, because at the minute I'm uploading every fortnight, every 2 Mondays.
Okay.
And I'm really enjoying it. Me and Jared's actually the reason that I've actually started the whole podcast in general. And I don't know. Jared said that maybe eventually you'd upload every Monday, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. But like, how would I go along with not having a co-host? Because Jared obviously gets all these big like wrestlers, and he's got voice actors.
Right.
I'm not there yet. I'm not at that point where I can get a really good guest at every single nook and cranny. I do have 2 people that I could rely on, which would be Mark and then my best friend James, who'll be on the episode after you. And I could like kind of lean on them too if I needed to, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know where I'd stand if I had to do it like every single week. I think it'd be pretty daunting. I don't envy you and Jim whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think it's easier with the co-host sometimes because you two could like you said, you guys are fans of Power Rangers and animes, and you both have your likes and your dislikes and things like that. Yeah. Do you two ever like squabble over anything? Like actually have serious disagreements about stuff when it comes to the podcast?
Not really, not over the podcast, but in person when we go to Comic-Cons, we kind of squabble all the time. But it's nothing ever serious because we know how we are, but it's usually just like me pushing him into something that's like he's got to buy something, so then he does it back to me, and then I'm like, how dare you, or he'll ask me something. I was like, well, first of all, I got so many questions, or how's it go? I have so many questions. First of all, how dare you? Just
yeah, you can definitely tell your little like banter brotherhood sort of relationship you two have just by listening to one of the episodes. It's very clear, very simple. You can tell that there's no like when one of you disses the other, you can tell there's no like venom in the words. There's no like toxicity. Yeah. It is just you two just dicking around, having a laugh. If people don't like it, there's the door. Yeah. Leave, because that's what you two are. That's literally and a lot of people love everyone.
Yeah, and like the way we talk to each other is literally how we talk to each other off recording on text messages and stuff. Like I can bring up a whole text message thread of how we threaten each other with like stepbrother style, where I'll bury him in the backyard in a rug. That's how we do.
Why can I just see it that one day, like, I don't know, Jim's partner or somebody's gonna just hear screaming, and they realize Jim's not around. They go to the back garden. They just have like a paper mache or like a polished styrofoam foam gravestone that says "Here lies Jim," and you've buried Jim underground.
Yeah.
Just as a joke. It's all a joke.
That'd be me.
But
that'd be me. Like he'd be buried, but there'd be like a straw that comes out of the ground so he could breathe, and then I'd plug the straw up a couple times.
Who would you say is physically stronger, you or Jim?
Jim is, because he's just bigger than me. But faster, it's me. I have more agility. I know I don't look like it in my pictures. I'm like, what's that? Country Bears? I might be big, but I'm fast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair one. Yeah, you and Jim are funny to listen to, and you're funny to have conversations with and stuff. And you've had the Three Ranger Bros on quite a few times now. You've had me, Mark, and we on a couple times, haven't you? I know you've had me on twice, and then the Three Ranger Bros special.
Yeah.
You've had Mark on at least twice.
Yep, same with Willie as well. It's always fun to talk to y'all because there's always something new we learn about y'all, especially when y'all three got together. Because then I actually got to listen to that episode when y'all were talking about the three Ranger Bros, and I was like, they should be getting along just as fine. Then I, out of nowhere, I was like, Mark had to step in and like, both of y'all shut up. Just
Yep.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, we're kind of the same. We're very banterous, we're very quippy, and things like that. And you know, when it comes to you and Jim, you've kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like you've just spread across multiple things. Like, you know, Ben being the one that's bad at technology is an ongoing joke through everybody. Jared messaged me a couple of days ago saying that he's having issues in his garage with his computer. So I went, hang on, have you been hanging out with Ben? And then he said no. I was like, well, good, don't. You know, things like this. I actually told Willie and Mark that you were late. Well, not late, but, you know, I was expecting you 20 minutes beforehand. And both of them were like, oh, how dare Billy, god damn it, and all this, you know. So, like, I don't know. I think when it comes to you two, you've done a great job on just, I don't know if positivity is the correct word, but, you know, you've definitely done a good job on spreading this, like, this humor, this just like compassion for content creators, because you know Willie always says without you two he wouldn't have done what he's doing. Without Willie, I wouldn't be uploading stories. You know, Jim kind of talked Mark into the whole adapting comics into audio dramas and stuff. You know,
that's right.
You're very supportive, and it's nice to have people that we can kind of fall back on, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and now we've actually lend our voices to y'all as well for
yes, that's right. Yeah.
And I've actually loved doing that because I never thought I'd do that myself. So
I'm glad you actually brought that up, because I don't want to like lean on too much of this, because again, you know, it's more stuff. But I did want to bring that up to you. You're now a voice actor. You do Bulk and Skull for Mark when it comes to adapting the comic books, and me and you actually worked together and we made a character for my Power Rangers Future Foundation spin-off, where Xander's cosplay dude's son is the leader. I mean, you actually came up with the character. What is it like being a voice actor and having your voice in someone else's project?
It's okay. So first, doing the lines is odd because I'm doing them all at one time. But then when you actually cut them up and put them into the story, it made it sound so much better because it's like it gave it context. And I was like, man, I actually sound really good. So. Okay, so when I did the lines for you, you couldn't hear Jim, right? You just heard me.
Yeah, I just heard you talking. Yeah.
Oh, so I was telling Jim, I was like, hey, Jim, say something to me that's gonna make me mad or something, and then he was like, you know, jelly donuts is raspberry. I was like, oh, you know, just yeah. So I was always telling Jim like, hey, say something to me that's gonna make me mad, and he'll like ramble on about something. I was like, all right, shut up, I got this.
Yeah, you did a really good job. It was very strange, like, you know, editing your voice into something.
For real.
Like, and I don't know if you know, but you're now the outro to every single one of my stories.
Yeah, because I listened to one of them and I was like, I couldn't. I was letting it finish all the way through, and I just heard it. And I was like, wait a minute. Why am I on the end of it talking about my Pringles or something?
So again, I couldn't hear Jim. I don't know what the hell Jim was saying, but you were. It's literally halfway through the lines that you gave me. You were laughing. You could tell you were talking to Jim, and then you went, "Don't touch my Pringles." And because you gave me an hour and 20-something minute long recording for like 12 to 13 lines, my first response was, right, screw you, Billy. From now on, that's going to be my outro. Now at the end of every single one of my stories, no matter what from here on, you'll literally hear, don't touch my Pringles at the end of every story. I thought it was funny.
I'm so glad I can live at the end of these things. Jared did that to us at the end of his episode. You could just hear us at the end, like, okay, cool, start a timer. All right, yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, like I just thought it was funny. I was like, do you know, having that at the end of every, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if TV shows still do it now. I stream everything, but it reminds me of those like 2000 TV shows where at the end it kind of comes up with the company brand right at the end of the credits, like I can never remember the name. I believe it was one who did Buffy and Angel, but you had this little zombie character walk across. He went, gar. And that's all it did. But it was the company brand. It was like, one with, I think it's How I Met Your Mother. There's a kid who moves his head out the way of the TV and he goes, "Oi, move your head." And it's like the company brand sort of. It's kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I kind of associate myself with Zeo To Hero, so it'd be kind of cool if I had you at the end, kind of like branding the story.
Okay, yeah, I know that Nickelodeon does that with like a 3-eyed monkey, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Paul." You know.
Yep, that's it. So I thought it'd just be funny if I did kind of something similar with the Pringle. Honestly, I'm there listening to it. I was like, why is this funny? Why is this actually amusing? I have no context either. I didn't even know what the fuck you two were talking about. You just came out with, don't touch my Pringles.
Don't touch them. Yeah. Touch them.
I just found it. So where did you come up? Because you play a samurai from like I think it's like 800 AD. I think I kind of timed it right because you're in the based in like actual Japan War of Samurais, transported in time to present day, and you're now the next generation golden samurai ranger. And can I just say, you actually came up with 90% of that. Where did that come from? Where did you get that idea from?
Honestly, I was like thinking, I was like, why don't we have them go back in time? I've always loved the artwork of the Japanese, like of the Shogun era and stuff.
Yep.
And I was like, why don't we just have my name spelled backwards, and have me as an actual samurai, and he gets transported to the future to fight a foe that he fought once in the past.
Yep, which is exactly what I did.
And I was like, we can have him with gold theme as like the Mandalorian, where he melts down the credits to make Beskar. Yep. I was like, well, why don't we just make it where I'm covered in gold, like lining, that I use the currency, and then I become, boom, the gold samurai ranger in present time.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing around with the character. You've only just got introduced, so we haven't really like explored, you in modern day, you being a Power Ranger and stuff just yet. So I'm very much looking forward to diving in. You're working with Xander as well, which I think would be very cool, because Xander's character is very like traumatized. He's very like antisocial. He's very moody. So I think your character kind of like counterbalance his character just a little bit. So
just
I think,
about to say that, yeah.
Yes, and then we've also got a girl who I linked to Willie's Cyberforce storyline, but in my universe. So I think we kind of make a nice little trio there. I think that kind of works well. So I'm looking forward to working with that. To be fair,
it's gonna be fun. I'm waiting for that because now I know how to turn up the stuff. So I'm gonna start playing with my swords here. Like swinging them while I'm saying lines or something, Just
yeah. You said you tried getting your sword to record,
and I was like right up on the mic too. And I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I went back and listened to it. I was like, I didn't even get the sound of the sword being unsheathed. That's some crock, Yeah.
To be fair, there's definitely a few times I've gone, hey, let's see if I can add something to this, and it just has not worked. The amount of times like I've had a character click their fingers, and I've actually clicked my fingers, and it just has. And I'm like, my hand was like,
right up on it.
Like if I moved my hand any closer, I'd be touching my microphone.
Exactly.
I don't understand. But I guess it all depends on like the microphone you have, the settings you've got, and stuff. Sometimes they can be too good, air quote. I suppose. But yeah, when it comes to you voice acting, I'm very much looking forward to playing around with the character. I know that you've done things for Mark. You're playing Balkan Skull, which is funny.
We actually got more lines from him, so we're gonna bang those out here real quick, and then. The funnest part is that we actually put our podcast on one of Willie's stories for Skyforce, and
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, we actually have our own podcast on there.
I was actually about to ask, how does it feel knowing that you as a person, but also your podcast is in someone's story being represented?
I feel like that meme of the 3 Spider-Man pointing at each other. That's how I feel. I was like, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
But yeah, it's cool having like the fact that your Zeo To Hero podcast exists in story.
In the story, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's a fun experience. I never thought we would be doing stuff like this, like voicing and like talking to other people. So it's always a new experience for us, even though we're almost like 70, dear God.
I love that. Almost 70. That's funny.
Almost. Yeah.
It's actually quite shocking to think sometimes the immaturity of Mark and the bumbliness of Willie, how actually older they are than me.
Oh yeah, because you're like way less than them.
Because like I'm 25 and both of them are like around the late 30s, early 40s bracket, and I'm like, how are you two even alive? Mark's immature as all hell, and I think Willie's brain is halfway through America.
That's good one. Damn. Yeah.
It's the truth though. And if you're both listening to this, I don't actually care. It's the truth.
It's the truth. Oh man. Well, yeah, that's true though. Well, I love everyone for who they are. It's perfect, and we all get along with our weird, dark humor. So.
Oh yeah, we've definitely had some funny moments in the Discord and everything. Some jokes that have stuck. I do have one question about the community, and I'm going to pull you up on this. How come I don't have a nickname yet?
That's a good. Oh, well, that's a good question. I'm about to talk to the old nickname giver, Jim. So,
because like I've been around almost as long as Mark. And
yeah,
I don't have a nickname yet.
You're still Obi-Wan.
Like I don't mind being Obi-Wan. Like if Obi-Wan like is a part of the name, I don't care. But how come I don't have a nickname yet?
We might have to do it like instead of Obi-Wan, we'll just have to nickname you like Only One. Okay.
Why can I just see it like when you said that? The first thing I thought of was Obi-Wan Kenobi growing old but starring on OnlyFans.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like if there's OnlyFans was Galactic, he's definitely on there.
He's on there. Yeah. He'd probably be the only one, only fan.
So when it comes to Power Rangers, obviously you've literally named your podcast after it. You guys bring it up all the time, like you said. You talk to big fans of the community of Power Rangers and stuff. And obviously now we're kind of in this lull, aren't we, of Power Rangers? We're not really getting anything for a while. Cosmic Fury was kind of like the last thing we kind of had. Do you think Power Rangers is going down a good route when it comes to, we kind of got a pause, or do you think they should bring something out? Where do you stand on this, like 2024 being a lull year for Power Rangers?
Oh man, with the recent news from Hasbro as well, like their numbers have their numbers are 20% down from what they were previously.
Yep.
Kind of worrisome that maybe they're not going to bring Power Rangers back because the showrunner for the new Power Rangers series or the new reboot, he left during the writer's strike, so we don't know whether they're going to get somebody else. What's the future of it? So it's kind of worrisome. I do wish they never would have taken a break from it. I wish they kind of would have had like some sort of idea or a toy, like the Lightning Collection. I think they never should have stopped the Lightning Collection, because now you're going to have this year of nothing Power Rangers related in stores, on the internet, nothing. So now people are just going to kind of forget about this.
Yep. Yeah. I'm glad you brought the Lightning Collection, because actually kind of like connects to one question I think I've known I was going to ask you since I asked you to come on, which has been a little while now. You're a huge collector. I can see Billy, by the way, for everyone wondering. I can actually see his video. I can see his collection. It's huge.
Oh yeah.
If you piled his collection on a human, a 6-foot human man, you're gonna kill him. Okay, that's how big it is. Like, you're killing the person, right? What's your thoughts on the fact that we have Mighty Morphin is obviously the first season. I understand that it's a legacy season, etc., etc. But what's your thoughts on the fact that the helmets are only Mighty Morphin, the weapons are only Mighty Morphin, and Mighty Morphin seems to be the only team that's complete and done several times in the Lightning Collection figures? Do you feel like that's rewarded, or do you feel like it's a bit like overboard and they should pay attention to the other seasons?
I feel like it's overplayed, but Mighty Morphin is their moneymaker, because a lot of the people that are my age was brought up with the Mighty Morphin. I mean, I do like the Mighty Morphin helmets, the Mighty Morphin power weapons. I wanted those. I've always wanted to create a power blaster, but yeah, I think they've overplayed it, because I mean, like I got the regular release, I had the metallic release, I had the ninja release, I have the The remastered series, I have all of them. I'm like, dear God, how many do I have to buy? You know, so yeah, it's a bit overplayed. And then I hate how at near the end of Lightning Collection, before they paused it, they started branching out to other teams, and I'm like, well, now I got a incomplete team. God knows when they're going to bring it back, if it's coming back. So
if you could give the Mighty Morphin love to another season, so we're talking helmets, we're talking individual weapons, and full set figure teams, what team would you want to give that love to?
Oh, I would definitely go with three teams. RPM,
yep.
Jungle Fury, but I want Jungle Fury to have the Spirit Rangers, even though they were American made. I would want them. Jungle Fury, Jungle Fury, RPM, and Samurai, and I would love to have Samurai with maybe like a double pack at the end of maybe like Xander. No, not Xander. What's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. But the main bad, and maybe like
Xandrid,
Master Xandrid, and have him with maybe like armored version of the Shogun armor Jaden or something, you know.
Yeah, no, they're three very good choices. I think Jungle Fury would be absolutely awesome, because you have very unique style weapons. You have the nunchucks. We have fans and swords, and people are like, okay, what about the bow staff or the power lance exists in, physical form. You could do stuff like that. And like you said, bring in the Spirit Rangers. I think that's a great idea. We're not adapting Super Sentai into figures, we're adapting Power Rangers into figures. And the three Spirit Rangers are Power Rangers, and they're used in the series. Okay, not a lot, but they're used, and it'd be kind of cool to have their helmets and weapons and figures. I agree with that completely. I have to say Wild Force would have to be one of mine.
Yes.
Wild Force is still one of my favorites. I adore Wild Force, the helmets, the weapons. I think it would go really well. And then I'd have to also say Time Force, only because I think the Quantum Blaster would make bank. The Quantum Blaster would make Hasbro money, man.
Yeah. You're not lying though. That would be perfect. A Quantum Blaster, yeah.
Yep, it would definitely go. And I don't know, I feel like because I'm younger and the year I was born was the year In Space came out. So I kind of missed the Zordon era. I grew up with the post-Zordon era. When I first watched Power Rangers, it was Time Force going into Wild Force and then reruns of the previous seasons. That's how I got into Power Rangers. This is why Time Force and Wild Force are so near and dear to me, because they're the ones that got me into watching Power Rangers and re-watching Mighty Morphin and Lightspeed and Lost Galaxy and all them lot, is because of those two. And so I always go to the idea of, I see why people want Mighty Morphin, to be the front runner of this stuff, but there are other people and generations who got into Power Rangers that aren't Mighty Morphin. There's people I follow on TikTok who got into Power Rangers because of Dino Thunder and RPM, and there are people that got into it because of Beast Morphers, and stuff like this. There are different generations, so I feel like if they did anything like bringing in the love other seasons, I think and you're saying they lost 20%. No wonder, because look at the love that Cosmic Fury got. It literally got nothing.
Yeah, it got nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Literally zilch.
Yeah. And like they showed the numbers on Netflix. It got the love from the fans. Like they watched it, but then it just kind of went to the side. So we don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, like everybody has, like, how can you say it? Everybody's Mighty Morphin is different. So, like you said, your Mighty Morphin was Lost Galaxy. My Mighty Morphin was actually Mighty Morphin.
Yeah. So with Cosmic Fury and Once and Always, they're both American made, except for the Zord fights in Cosmic Fury.
Yeah.
Do you like that, the fact they went more American and they left Super Sentai, or do you think they should have stuck with Super Sentai and just went full swing with it?
I love how they had the gumption to drop Super Sentai and create their own storyline with the Cosmic Fury. And because we got to see some really cool characters come back. Hell, we got Heckle came back. That was a fan
Yes.
favorite.
I'm so glad they
Yeah.
made Heckle a thing in that. It was very
And-
short, but it was good.
Yeah, and they gave him the suit too, the Dark
Yep.
Ranger suit, and I absolutely love that. So we got more Tarek, we got more developing characters between them. So like we got to see more Tarek, not as Void Knight or like the mutated Void Knight. So it was pretty fun how they
Yeah, he was just her dad.
Yeah, exactly. It was her dad. Yeah. And I just love how they just kind of like wrote their own story for Cosmic Fury. And I think they did it well.
Yeah, I think for the first time they're able to do that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And, they only used Zord footage, which is fine. I think the risks they took as well were bold, but very good. We had a character lose an arm. Okay, it wasn't bloody, it seemed to kids. But we had a character lose an arm. We had a female Red Ranger, which, okay, I know isn't a major thing, but for people who grew up on Power Rangers like us, it's a major thing. It's
that
huge.
was a huge.
We've had two Red Rangers, female Red Rangers, but they have not been leaders. Kind of.
Yeah.
One of them was, but she was a bad guy. That doesn't count. We have had a
Yeah.
full-blown Red Ranger female who led her team and led it well, might add. She's a pretty good Red Ranger leader. And then we have things like the whole twist on Lord Zed on the ending where, you think he's the big bad, but then the little bad guys who have been in it from the get-go actually ended up kidnapping Lord Zed, and it was actually them who were the big. I thought that was fantastic. So many people got annoyed. I thought that was brilliant. What a plot twist! The fact that Lord Zed wasn't the big bad for once. He's been around for a while, but he's not the. It's actually these squid things. I was like, that's actually kind of clever. I actually quite enjoyed that. That's actually a smart move.
So in Cosmic Fury, I had a really good laugh about this because in the Mighty Morphin series, Lord Zed always said he can't stand these teenagers, right?
Yep.
In Cosmic Fury, who's he teamed up with? The teenager Squid Girl.
Yeah, that's very true. And obviously we've got Once and Always, which I actually really thoroughly enjoyed.
I liked that.
I watched it with my mum, my stepmom. My mum is the reason why my brother got into Power Rangers and stuff, so she was like really happy about it as well. They tributed our Lost Rangers, which was really sweet as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that they made the Yellow Rangers' actual death canon? How do you feel about that and how they went around that?
That was interesting. I liked it. I like how they basically closed the door for us instead of having like Trini as like an Omega Ranger. So they kind of closed it like she died, right? We all know she died. So I liked it. I liked the idea that they did. I wish they would have done the original idea where like she was actually laying on the beach below and they saw her down there dead. But actually her getting vaporized is okay. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it was the safe move, I think is the best way to word it. Because obviously, again, it's aimed at kids, it's going on Netflix, blah, blah, blah. They have restrictions and all that crap. So I think it was a safe move, but I do like the fact that, because this isn't comic books, it's not linked to the comic books at all. The TV shows are different, and I like the fact they kind of made it, air quote, I'm going to use the word canon, I guess is the best word to use. They made it canon. So what do you think of the fact that the Once and Always special kind of mostly revolved around Billy and Zach and not the rest?
That was fun. I like that. I like how Billy basically had the spotlight with Zach, and then at near the end, it kind of shifted towards men. And I liked how men basically became like the focal point at the very near the end. And I really like how, because Zach and Billy never really got the spotlight in the original series, you'd always have those like one-off episodes, but this was like solely around them. I really loved it. I liked the whole process that it did and how it shifted from them to supporting men as the new Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've always loved Zach. I'm a big fan of the Black Mime, well, both of them actually. I like Adam as well. And the fact that Jason's been in a lot of anniversary episodes. We've had Rocky popped up in Dimensions in Danger? Was he in that one? Yeah,
that's one.
And so like they those two have popped up there. We've obviously had Jason David Franco's Tommy pop up in several different crossovers and stuff. So the other characters, I know that Kimberly hasn't really been a focal point, but I guess that's more on the actress than anything else, because she hasn't really like kind of delved in it really, has she, since leaving the show. So when it comes to our main cast, it's nice for the fact that they kind of delved into the other characters that we haven't really seen, and also did it really well. One of my favorite scenes throughout the entire special is the argument between Billy and Zach just after Trini dies, and the arguing of how do we tell Min, do we tell Min, blah blah. The emotion on Zach's face is absolutely phenomenal. The acting has definitely stepped up a notch. I thought that argument was fantastic.
It was like, so yeah, I had to pause and I was like, I don't know what just happened right here, but it touched me in my heart, you know?
Yeah, like it almost made it, you know how like MCU and like these big budget movies humanize superheroes? I felt like that scene humanized the Power Rangers.
Oh, that's a good point. I never thought of it like that. It humanized them. It gave them that.
It gave them, like, you know, we see these teenagers' attitude and these people in similar suits of different colors all morph into these spandex. Sorry, Dr. K. Spandex. And, you know, we see them riding massive robots and stuff, which is fun to watch. But the Once in a Special kind of gave them a bit of a human kind of like compass for us to watch. And I enjoyed that.
Because like in the show, they dealt with more like bullies and school issues and the environment and stuff like that. But as they're older in this new one, 30 years later, it's more relates more to us that they're having a hard time dealing with death.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I feel like that is something that you have to deal with as you get older. So,
and I think it's you can definitely tell the shift as well, because even in the very first fight before Trini dies, there's even mention of the fact that, you know, the Rangers are going to be killed and things like this. So it's a bit more mature. And I know it's aimed at kids, but this is kind of like, you know, death and stuff is a natural part of life. It happens, you know.
Exactly.
So if you could give a season the once and always special sort of like idea, you know, hour to hour and a half, you can see them several years later, bring some of the cast back, what season would you want to give the once and always special treatment to?
Lightspeed Rescue, because it was their professions. What about like 30 years later? What are they doing now? Like, are they manning those positions? Are they still using the powers to help people in those specific situations? Like, or is there a new team of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue? That's what I would like.
That's actually a very good one. I like that a lot. I think that'd be really cool. I definitely like the idea of what you just said, that there could be another like set of Rangers, as in, because it's almost like a police force, or like I like that idea. Exactly. I think that'd be really fun to play with.
It can open up so many doors too. Yeah, that'd be interesting though. That'd be cool, because like it was their jobs, that what they were Rangers for.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. I think Jungle Fury would have to be one for me.
Oh, that's another one.
I'd want to see where, like, you know, Dom leaves at the end. You know, we know that Casey, thanks to Megaforce, you know, Casey's kind of like going around and he is like a master and he knows what he's talking about and stuff now. Theo and Lily just got together at the end. It'd be kind of nice to see how their relationship developed. Are they still together? Did they get married? Are they completely fucked and went their separate ways? We don't know. I want to know this sort of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be so interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I would totally do one for like the Great Britannia, but then I remember they all die at some point.
But so see, I think the issue now where we kind of sit with this whole Power Ranger stuff is, would the community accept just having, you know, once and always type of specials and stuff like that, instead of having new seasons? Like, what I think personally it would work if we just stopped having specials and reunions and things.
Yeah,
If
right.
that's all we could get, because obviously, Hasbro's, like you said, 20% down. They're not making toys that they need to be making.
Yeah.
And now there's a whole, like, kind of, everyone's kind of sat there twiddling their thumbs on what are we going to get to watch next,
Well, if you also look at the Super Sentai, they actually do 10 years and a 20-year specials, and they just released one for her Ranger, I can't pronounce the name.
You talking about Ninja Storm's one?
Yeah, but our Ninja Storm. They
Hurricane Ranger, something like that.
They just did a 20-year, I think a 10 or 20-year for them, and it's an idea. You could definitely do it.
Yeah, that's very true. Have you seen the Deca Rangers red SWAT looking suit for the 20th anniversary?
The new one?
Yeah, that looks sick. I want it. That looks so dope. Imagine if because Bridge was the last SPD Red Ranger we saw. Imagine if he got that suit.
Yeah, and if I would totally run around in a prop of that and like, Billy, you got work to do. And I was like, shut up. I got a lot of more of this doing,
Billy, you got work to do. Yeah, and the world needs to be saved.
Yeah, exactly. The world needs me right now.
Yeah, I definitely think that, Power Rangers is a bit... It's a shame, though, that we're on this hiatus and everyone's kind of twiddling their thumbs, because it's the one thing that a lot of people call it childish, which, yeah, it can be at times, but it connects all generations. We've got us adults who grew up with it. We've got the teenagers finding it. We've got kids watching the new stuff and realizing that it's been going on for 30 years. You've got like 30 years to catching up to do.
Yeah.
And stuff. And you're a Power Ranger podcast. I've had guests on mine that are Power Ranger enthusiasts as well.
Yep.
You've literally built a community of people that literally are fans of Power Rangers. Power Rangers has done stuff for people.
Yeah, and with the looming of the Power Ranger hiatus, it actually has opened doors for, I don't know if it's any like for other people, but for me especially, I've branched out to doing more animes and more like Star Wars shows or, different things. I'm starting to try different things. I'm starting to like these other things. And I know that you noticed that I started buying like Demon Slayer, Funko shirts. I've actually bought a lot of their swords because it's actually a really good show. And I would never have guessed to watch it if I knew Power Rangers wasn't going to end. So
that's the question for you. How do you feel if Power Rangers went animated? Because Kamen Rider Double now has an anime.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I've just started watching the animated version of that. How would you feel if we got like continuations, Sentai adaptations, but in the animation style?
I'd be so down for that. I would love to see that because they have a Go-Go Loser Ranger, which is an animated style. I want to watch that, see how that is, and I know they could do it. They can definitely do an animated style for Power Rangers. It's totally doable.
I think it'd be easier to get things like the crossovers we never had, because Wild Force and Ninja Storm never crossed over. That'd been a fun one to see.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think that would been rather interesting, and I think it'd also make it easier on the bringing characters to life that we can't because the actors / voice actors have passed away. So, like, for example, Shane from Ninja Storm, his actor passed away. You could animate him to life and then find a voice actor that sound very similar to him. Paying tribute to him in that sort of sense. I think that would be a very good way of doing it. I think they should. I think it's a very I know we live in a day and age where people are picky. People are gonna hate on the world, but I think it'd be very interesting to see Power Rangers. Just imagine the morphing sequences in an anime format, the stuff they could get away with.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no limitations on animation.
Exactly.
Basically whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, there's some morphing sequences that I think could have been just sharper or look a bit more dazzling with, a bit more animation.
And they wouldn't have to spend all that money on pyrotechnics behind the blow up the stuff behind the Power Rangers after they morph. It's all animated, so they don't have to worry about pyrotechnics.
They don't have to worry about things like Zord fights and things like that because it's all animated. You literally just draw it and things. It'd definitely be an interesting one.
I'd be so down to see this. I would totally watch that. I don't care that if I'm like 36 or 37, I'll be there with chicken nuggets in front of my TV, you know.
So if they like adapted a comic book into an animation, what comic book of Power Rangers would you want to see in an animation? Like, so you can actually watch the comic book.
Oh, Beyond the Grid, Shattered Grid, Coinless, anything from Boom. I would totally take anything from Boom and have it from comic to show, an animation.
I think Shattered Grid would be the one that would make
Shattered Grid
because everybody wants Draken like adapted somehow. You know, everybody wants Draken adapted. I think that would be good.
You would get all 4 versions of Draken 2, V1, V2, V2.5, and 3.
Yep.
You get all 4 of them. I'm totally down for that. Let's do that. GoFundMe or something. You know?
Just one day, Shattered Grid, the animated series. Me and Billy, we told you.
Yeah.
You just have to message me like, Ty, look what I found.
Yeah, for real. Oh, damn, Ty, they know.
They have our plans.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Don't tell the Yeti.
Yeah. Too late.
So I'm gonna bring up your collection again because again I can see it. It's humongous. Do you actually have all of the Lightning collection up to date?
I have everything but the Cobra Kai figures and the last ones that were produced. So like the Turbo Red, Lightspeed Blue, and then RPM Yellow. I don't have those 3 or the Cobra Kai figures.
Do you plan on getting them?
Yeah. I'm waiting till they have a sale so I can just get them at discount.
Fair enough. What would you say was the hardest thing in your collection to acquire?
Ooh.
Whether that was money, post, whatever it is. What was the most difficult thing to get?
I would have to say it was the San Diego Comic-Con 2-packs from 2019. Those were the hardest ones to find because at the time nobody was selling them. I found them on Amazon and I bought them. They were $200 a piece. So I bought me one and I bought Jim one, and I didn't tell him I bought him one. So he just opened it up and he sent me a picture. He's like, "You son of a bitch." So
how dare you buy me things?
Yeah, but I think that was the hardest one to find. But I found it on Amazon, and at the time we were getting these. I don't know if they did it in England, but they gave us these things called stimulus checks for during COVID time. So I was pretty well set. I had my own money. I had a job. I didn't really worry. So I was like, I'll just buy something with a stimulus check. So I bought two double packs.
Fair. When it comes to, okay, so I can see helmets, I can see weapons, I can see figures. How much time have you put into like making this little like display you've got? Because you put it on Instagram and stuff, don't you? You've actually got like how much time have you put into your display?
Oh, that's a lot. And what you can't see is there's a pile of other I have not put up there yet. There's a whole bunch of down there. There's a bunch of Funkos right here on my table. There's more Funkos behind the screen. There's swords in the hallway I still got to hang up. It's a lot. It's just so hard to motivate myself to just get down and start putting things up. But I know during the summertime I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to expand it out, and I'm going to I'm gonna put up more shelves to wrap around the room and stuff. So
yeah, cool.
it's all good.
I have to bring this up. You have a thing against people pulling out their collectible out of box.
Yeah.
Why?
So I do it as a play, just like a joke or a work. Like in wrestling, I do it as a work, and it makes people interact with us, and it's fun. And it's fun to I keep everything in box. If I want another one, to take out of the box, I'll buy a second one. I'm not really too worried about it, but I love to like give people harass people about it because it makes them interact with us, and it's like okay, well I'm only joking, but hey, welcome to the team, right?
Yeah, it's kind of become an ongoing thing now, isn't it? Where if anyone takes anything out of the box, we actually send you pictures hey buddy, look what I've done. like we're a teenager that's trying to piss off their dad.
Yeah. Or they'll send me a video of them opening the box, or like just shredding the box open. I'm sitting in the comments like, no, like Anakin Skywalker when he was on fire and stuff, Just, no.
Okay, I don't agree with shredding the box. Look after the box, you might need that. But like
Exactly.
certain like with Funko Pops, it actually annoys me that I can't have all my Funko Pops on display. They've made 3D models which have details on the back for a reason. For you to put it out of the box.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think one of the reasons why I'm like, no, you should put out the box, because I don't know if you've ever seen them, but people have done like really cool still images of Power Ranger figures in mid-fight and stuff like this. I was like, it's two toys, granted, but it still looks dope.
Yeah, I don't know how these people like pose these figures so accurately, because I try to do it and apparently I'm dyslexic and retarded or something. So, but I just cannot pose toys. That's probably the one reason why I just keep them in the box, because I just can't pose them like how some of these people do it.
Yeah, I think I've got and I've done a few Red Ranger, which you gave me because I won a raffle.
Yep.
I've got In Space Pink, which I got for Christmas, and then I've just acquired SPD A Squad Red Ranger and the Black Ninjetti Adam in his Black Ninjetti look. I'm not a huge fan of the whole Ninjetti outfits, especially the fact they have like a morphing sequence. That's dumb. But I love Adam, and I was like, I want something that's like Adam. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't get to meet him, but I saw him at a Comic-Con, and I was like, if I had the money, I'd have him sign my Black Ninjetti figure that says, such. I'm the frog.
See, do you know what I would have him sign on mine?
What you got?
Bonkai.
Okay, that's fair,
because he's Ichigo's voice actor.
Exactly, yeah.
And then I'd be the only person in existence who'd have a Black Ninjetti Ranger with Bonkai written on his box.
If I could afford it, I'd buy a Giyu sword from Demon Slayer, because he also voices Giyu.
Oh, okay.
So I'd have him sign the sword and be like off of Step Brothers. He's like, you want to see something cool? He's like, why is Randy Jackson's name on your sword? He's like, well, that's the only thing I had,
Yeah, I find that he's actually done pretty well for himself when it comes after being it's now become a thing that if someone sees a Power Ranger actor in something else, they put it all over Facebook, Instagram, on Discord, and they're like, look what I found, because it's almost like when you become a Power Ranger actor, you're signing yourself off to never being casted in anything else.
Pretty much, yeah. And for the rest of your life, you're known as that character. Like, they don't know your name, they know your name as the character. Yeah.
I think some of them have like done a good job. Like Justin, obviously he was a kid in Power Rangers, and now he's like, he's done wonders with his life and stuff, things. Obviously we have Adam, he's now a voice actor. I love him as Ichigo. When I actually found out he was Ichigo, I was like, oh my god, that's actually like a really cool. I was watching I got like 100 episodes into Bleach, realized that it was Adam. I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much more sense.
It makes it much cooler to you to watch it, because knowing that he's the voice. Yeah.
Definitely. But when it comes to Power Ranger actors, I don't know, I feel like they're just a bit, I don't want to use cursed, but you never really see them much. I know I can name a couple or in a few things. I've seen Lightspeed Blue in one or two like one-off small things, especially in like police dramas and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I know RPM Red is in, I want to say it's Jessica Jones in season 3 or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I've definitely seen Danny in a one-off episode of something. It's just a shame that it's, one-off something. It's not like none of them have got major big roles or anything like this. And you can kind of see why Jason David Frank made his own movie, because he was literally known for being Tommy and nothing else.
Yeah, he basically had to kayfabe for the good portion of his life as Tommy.
Yes.
And it's crazy. But I like how he made that movie to branch off of that. He's like, I'm kind of giving up the Tommy Oliver name, you know, and I want to do something different. That's who he became now, was Eric, or what was it, Eric Reed?
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to watching the Legend of the White Dragon. I'm curious to see.
Kind of want to see how that turns out.
Yeah. Do you think that it's too much like Power Rangers, or do you think that it'll be good enough to be a standalone thing?
I know that it's a standalone, but a lot of the concept came from Power Rangers, and that's what Jenna Frank was telling me when I met her at Retromania a couple weeks ago. That she was in it too. So yeah, she said it's basically just a rip off of Power Rangers, but it's kind of like its own little thing now. So it's Power Rangers without the name.
So it's kind of like what Power Rangers did with Super Sentai. You know, we kind of ripped off it, but made it our own sort of thing.
Exactly. They put their own twist on it. Yeah.
If you could see a Super Sentai adapted into Power Rangers, I know that isn't really going to likely happen anymore, but if you could pick a Super Sentai that never got adapted and make it adapt in Power Rangers, which one would you like to see?
Ooh.
I mean, it could be old, it could be new, it could literally just any Sentai that never got adapted.
Kind of Die Ranger. I want to see Die Ranger. That's the one I would like. Yeah, but that'd be kind of hard because we've used the White Ranger from Die Ranger, so I don't know how well that would correlate. Yeah, because everybody knows
that's the issue with the fact that they did the way they did it. You know, doing the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, adapting the Zord from this, the suit from that. They made it difficult now, so they can't really adapt. You know, unless they did it in a way that, I don't know, maybe it was JJ who came into it and became the 6th Ranger, and it is the Mighty Morphin Ranger or something like that. You know, unless they did it something on those lines, it'd be very hard to adapt. You know, Die Ranger now because with what they did. But Die Ranger's a very good choice.
Okay. Yeah.
I think. Oh, I know everybody wants to train one. Everybody wants to train one.
Toku Ranger?
Yeah.
Everybody wants that one. I mean, I wouldn't mind. It's got humor and I would love to see that, you know. It'd be awesome. And apparently trains do very well in America, so I mean, you have a market for it, for toys.
Yeah, see, because that's the shame part, is that they go down the toy route. They look at it and go, right, what would make a good toy, not what would make a good story. Because you have things like, dude, I don't know what it's called, but it's one of the most recent ones where they've all got insects. They've all bug themed.
King Oger.
Yeah, thank you, King Oger. The Zords in that series look fantastic. The Zords look phenomenal. I don't care. They would be awesome as actual Power Rangers Zords. They'd be dope. You know, the Thunder Rangers from Ninja Storm did really well. Their Megazord did really good with toy sales. You know, bugs apparently are a thing. You know, people like bugs apparently. Who knew?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I'm trying to think of because I know we adapted with Cosmic Fury, we adapted the Megazords.
Yes, yeah.
Do you think the actual Sentai would be good enough to adapt, having 10 Rangers, the suits all looking different, constellations? Do you think it'd work or not?
Now, if they were to adapt that, I would say they would have to go back to probably the Mighty Morphin Season 1, where it was 60 episodes, because you got so many Rangers, you have to build arcs with each one, basically.
Yep.
You have to, and I feel like it would have to be a very long season, but it's doable. I mean, it could definitely happen.
We had that issue at Dino Charge, didn't we? We had 10 Rangers, but only 6 to 7 of them got any and annoyingly, you know, we have the Prince, Tyler's dad, and then Xenowing. And sadly, if you put all 3 of their character arcs into one, it has more character development than some of the actual core members.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. So, someone is deemed to fail when it comes to character development. What's your opinion on the whole, you know, when they split it between a season and a super season?
Man, that one... I like the idea, because then it gave you basically... more development time. They didn't have to cram it all at once. They could take their time because they basically split it into 2 different seasons. I like that. I like that idea. But sometimes it didn't work out very well. Like, as you saw with Power Rangers Samurai, it didn't work out very well for them. It didn't work out for Mega Force, Super Mega Force. So I guess depending on who the writers are and the team they're adapting, then, it can go either way.
See, I find it, if they were going to do the whole thing of, Samurai, Super Samurai, whatever the case may be, I think the issue a lot of the time is, what's the difference between the Super season and the first season? Like, why is it Super Samurai now? Why is it Super Dino Charge now? Etc. Etc. I think when it comes to Dino Charge, they almost had it because the Red Ranger got that really funky red-white Tyranno armor looking thing. That was kind of cool looking. The Samurai almost had it because they all had like Shogun mode, which was very rarely ever used. They all almost had it, but none of them actually got there.
Right. Exactly.
Obviously, they're adapting. We get this. They're adapting stuff, but they spent a lot of money on cockpit because they changed the cockpits, didn't they? They made their own and stuff like this. So if you're able to do that, why can't we have just a little bit more on the what makes it super?
Right.
I'm confused.
I wish I had the answer, but it also that perplexed me as well. Like, why is it super? What's the difference?
Like Beast Morphers is fine because that had 2 seasons. I'm drawing a blank. And Ninja Steel had Super. Ninja Steel did have Super Ninja Steel, right? I am correct.
Ooh,
did it have Super Ninja? Was it Super Ninja Steel? I want to say.
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Like what made that super? I'm confused.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm so confused. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
What's your opinion on small adaptation changes? Things like morphers being changed, and, backstories being changed, and like what's your opinion on? Do you think they work well? Do you think they shouldn't do it?
It works well in some situations. Like I know that they had to change a couple things because they would not sell well here in America. Like the gold Ninja Ranger, they had to change his morpher because a hamburger morpher wasn't going to do well here.
I'm sorry. Are you telling me that in America a hamburger or cheeseburger morpher wouldn't go well? Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah. So I feel like they changed a lot of stuff for toy sales, and because the toy sales is the driving point of the Power Rangers in America.
See, I understand the cheeseburger morpher, but I'm so confused on why they changed the core members. Why do we have that stupid star thingy? The sword being their morpher just works, man. That was so cool.
Yeah.
But they just adapted it to that crappy little star thingy mabob, and I'm confused why.
Yeah. That's like Jungle Fury. Why did they change it to sunglass? That just killed me,
That I remember the day where I first found out the change that Geki Ranger didn't have sunglasses; they had knuckle duster looking things. And when I saw that, I was like, "It's a show about martial arts," and they actually had a martial art morpher, and they got rid of it for fucking sunblock.
Yeah, exactly. I was so mad.
Like that makes no sense.
Yeah. I was so upset with myself. I had to write an angry letter. Too bad I didn't know how to write that time.
Just let you guys know, he tried writing this letter 36 times. He threw the last one away yesterday.
My old typewriter. Shing.
I'd love a typewriter. That'd be so cool.
Use it to annoy everybody.
Yeah, of course. That's the point.
Yeah.
So, who do you think is the worst Power Ranger villain? As in, like, boring, they're not very well done. However you deem just bad. Like, who do you think is the worst Power Ranger villain?
King Mondo from Zeo.
Really? Wow, I was not expecting you to say that.
I didn't like him. I think there was just no development or anything with him.
Wow, okay. That's actually shocked me.
I was gonna say Daishi, but I really liked him near the end. He got.
I like Daishi. I think what they did with Daishi was cool.
Yeah, exactly. At first I didn't like him, but then at the end they really changed him up. I like that one. But I think Yeah, I think King Mondo was probably the worst one for me. Didn't like him.
With Daishi, there is some confusing parts where, you know, you've got this whole thing of Daishi's meant to be this big, you know, dominating spirit thingy, and it goes into Jared. But a lot of the time, Daishi and Jared are treated as one person. Like, what the is that about?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there are so two different beings.
Yeah.
I'd say my choice. I got so much smack for this on Facebook. I think my worst choice is Lothal.
Oh man, I liked him. He had a lot of there was a lot of like humor with him.
Yeah, but see, that one. As a villain, what does he actually do? As a villain?
Nah, he didn't really do much as a villain.
Except for the very last second, where he goes ham on all of the Rangers, he destroys the Battleizer, he literally floors them. But that's the last 2 episodes. What about the rest of the season? What the hell does he do other than bitch at his generals? Zergain did more than he did.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, he just kind of just sat around. Yeah, bitching at what those were his daughters, right? His 2 kids.
Nieces, aren't they?
His nieces,
yeah.
Bitching at them. Yeah, you're right. He was pretty bad. Pretty atrocious.
There's a YouTuber called Top the Fourth Wall. He does a lot of history of Power Rangers. I rewatched his Ninja Storm one, and he sat there ranting for 10 minutes about Lothal. And every minute that goes on, I'm sat there thinking, "Oh my god, he's right. Oh my god, he's actually true."
I just watched one of his videos the other night. Top the Fourth Wall, Linkara, right?
Yeah, Linkara, yeah.
I just watched the one he just did a breakdown of Cosmic Fury, and I completely forgot that he still did these things, and I love that. I love this video.
Yeah, he's also just dropped. He did a review on Super Sentai Gokaiger, the Super Mega Force one. He did a couple episodes of that. I really enjoy watching him because he talks about how the episodes he got requested because it's one of his Patreon requests. So obviously, you know, someone's actually paid him to like talk about it. And it's like one of the really dumb episodes in Gokaiger where one bad guy is like in love with this this car instructor, and another bad guy's in love with the girl, so they kind of like end up like this fight. But it turns out the car instructor is actually the Red Turbo Ranger. And so the Rangers help him out, and then obviously because Turbo in Super Sentai is classed as like a goofy season, it's classed as like a joke sort of thing. It was very funny, very like over dramatic, very stupid episode, and just watching Linkara talk about it for 20 minutes is just funny. I love it. That. Like I like the way that he just sits there like confused at Super Sentai. It's quite amusing. If you could bring back a bad guy as like the next season like villain, and they get like whole kind of think of Jason come back as Zeo Gold and stuff like this, Tommy come back as Dino, but do it for a villain, so they come back as like another big bad. It doesn't have to be a big bad, it could be a general or anything. What villain would you want to see come back and get like a redemption arc sort of thing of being a bad guy?
Oh, this is a good one. Decker. I would have Decker come back.
He's in Samurai, right? He's the human who could shift into like a Nylok form.
Yeah.
I really like him. Yeah, I agree with that one. That would be
I'd have to have him because his story was kind of depressing, and I would like to see him actually like free himself.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. I quite liked the idea of a Nylok having a human form or like a human. I kind of like it when humans have like villain forms in Power Rangers. I think that's why I liked Void Knight for the first half of Dino Fury because we didn't know he was an alien, but like he was very human.
Exactly, and like Void Knight, what drew me to Void Knight, and same with Decker, is that they both had personal struggles. Yes. Like Decker was trying to release himself of the curse. Void Knight was trying to save his wife. So
see, with Void Knight, I really liked him because we went from your average, you know, I'm gonna rule the world, I'm gonna destroy Earth, blah blah villains for no reason, to Mr. Freeze sort of concept, but in Power Rangers, and I think it was done really well. I actually really enjoyed Dino Fury to like what season 1 and 2 when it comes to the villain. Even the way that Void Queen was even handled, like the last fight and stuff, was just really well done.
Perfect.
It was top notch. I think they did it really well.
Yeah, I will definitely agree with that. I really like season 2 of Dino Fury. It was just spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your thoughts on, like, we've got is it 2 robots being Power Rangers now? I want to say there's 2 robots being Power Rangers because we have Operation Overdrive Red and then we've got Steel. So I want to say there's 2. But what's your thoughts on, like, aliens and machines, and we've got like other things that aren't human being Power Rangers? Do you like that idea, or do you think they should just strictly be human beings?
I like the idea because it gives a different character to, like with Mac, with the Operation Overdrive. Like, he thought he was a human, turned to find out that he was just an android.
Yeah.
And I think it helped his character. And then same thing with who was Steel? Steel was a good one too, because he was a robot that was learning human emotions for him to turn into a human at the end.
Yeah.
And I love the alien concept, like Zato and Ion. I absolutely love that idea because they've been around 65 million years, and they're trying to adapt to today's struggles, today's society, today's the new. For us, it's an everyday thing, but to them, it's a new thing. So it kind of like gives an aspect of learning new things that we deal with every day.
I think aliens also, kind of like things like Doctor Who and Star Trek. And stuff. I think aliens are just embedded into Power Rangers. We have the Alien Rangers. Andros was an alien. His sister obviously being an alien too. I think aliens are just always going to be around, whether they're villains, whether they're good guys, whether they're mentors or whatnot. I think aliens are always just going to be a thing in Power Rangers forever.
It fits so well. It does.
I think it also kind of gives a bit of breathing room on the idea that, we, no matter whether it's Marvel, DC, or whatnot, it's always a case of, okay, well, if Earth has all these heroes, what about other planets? So I guess with Power Rangers, it kind of also answers that question, because we've also got characters like, we've also got the Phantom Ranger, we've also got Blue Centurion, and stuff like that. They come from across the galaxy. They don't come from Earth, so it kind of builds a bit more an idea that Power Rangers is a universal thing, not an Earth strict thing, especially with the idea that like Zordon comes from a different planet.
And exactly. It shows, definitely shows that Power Rangers comes in different shapes, sizes, and types of people.
Yes,
I like that.
So, what's your thoughts on the fact we finally had an Orange Ranger? Because I know that you've been wanting an Orange Ranger for a long time.
Oh, I loved it. I loved seeing it, even though she didn't get a lot of screen time or character build in the Cosmic Fury. I loved it. I loved just seeing an Orange Ranger, and it just shuts all the people up. Well, we need an Orange Ranger. Well, there you go. It's canon. It's there. Even though it's Solon is the spirit animal, like the animal for the orb, I'll take it.
Yeah, as soon as we found out we got an Orange Ranger, I'm starting thinking Billy is going to love this.
Love it.
You've been an Orange Ranger enthusiast for as long as I've known you.
I could definitely go for more Orange Rangers. You damn right.
To the point, I've actually had Billy the Skyforce Ranger meet one of my Orange Rangers, and I've had Billy actually go, "Oh my god, I told you an Orange Ranger would work."
Look, Jim, it's an Orange Ranger. Yeah, okay, but we're fighting people right now, okay?
Legit, what happened in the episode? Legit, what happened in that? I had to have Billy like gawk over the fact there was an Orange Ranger, and Jim just completely dismisses it, because I think that's actually kind of what like would happen in real life as well.
It is. It's literally something like I could be like, Jim, that's literally Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed up as Terminator. Okay, but what about these Funko Pops on my arms? You gonna open your backpack? No, that's something he would do. Yeah.
So, do you think Funko Pop would definitely make more money if they kind of delved into making more Power Ranger teams and villains and stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a market. Like they have went across every kind of show, genre, what music. I mean, it's out there. They could definitely make money off of the Power Rangers thing, the name. Yeah. Because not only that, if they branched out and did any other teams outside of like Mighty Morphin, I think they would sell a lot of them. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think it was really good that they redid Mighty Morphin, but they had their
Yes.
weapons, like the power weapons, and
That's
then
what
just
sold
like
me.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, that is so good. So I'm actually on the look for the MMPR, but the newer ones where they have their power. I'm on the look for them now.
Okay.
That'd be a good set to collect. Sadly, really hard to find where I am.
Yeah,
but
I can set you up with my friend. He lives in Essex, and he could definitely find those for you. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, so once they did the power weapons, I was like, okay, that's different. That's new. I like that. But yeah, I just think that if they did full sets, 5 to 6 Rangers, maybe bring like the main villain as a
Yeah.
Funko Pop or something, and then if that made money, do like the Megazord, and stuff. I think it would make bank because they only done the first Megazord.
Yeah, the T-Rex. That's the only one they've done so far in the new releases. But yeah, I like you said, they should do like 4 or 5 teams of like just a main character, the main core, and then they should do like maybe like a 6th wave of just 6 Rangers. So
Yeah,
cool. That'd be cool to have like 5 Funkos come out for the like 6 Funkos on the 6th wave of all 6 Rangers, like 6 Rangers.
Yeah. Kind of like how they did the Power Ranger keys for Super Mega Force.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be cool. Exactly. Yeah.
So when it comes to things like collecting and things like this, are you a type of person that has to have the full collection, or do you only collect the things that you're actually like a fan of?
Now when it comes to Power Rangers, I have to have like full collections of that. Now when it comes to like Funkos and stuff, I'll usually just like nitpick the ones I want. Except for Demon Slayer, I collect all Demon Slayer, all Power Rangers. But then I like My Hero Academia, I have just a couple of them. But yeah, but when it comes to Power Ranger toys, it's usually like the full set of whatever's out. Yeah.
Yeah, see, because I've got quite a few Funko Pops. I've kind of got a wall building up. And for some reason, my fiance is insane enough to help me, add to the wall. I'm buying.
She's an enabler.
Like, she enables me to do it.
Yeah.
But like, I think Pokemon is the one that I'm kind of like. As soon as I find a Pokemon I don't have, I'm like, yep, it's in the name. You've got to get them all.
Yeah, I mean, normally we're the ones peer pressuring y'all to buy stuff, but like that day that you showed us that you bought a Psyduck Funko, that was it. I went and bought me one, and I was like, damn it, Ty, you'd made me go buy this.
So where I live in a tiny village. Literally, there's no shop, no nothing. It's a tiny, very small village. So to get anywhere remote where there's big shops and stuff, you've got to drive easily anything between 20 minutes to an hour easily.
Damn.
So we have like 4 different places we can go, and each place has, big supermarkets with big toy aisles. So I think like once a month we kind of have this rotation of which big town we go to a big shop, and each time I'm finding different Pokemon ones. So I've just added Alakazam, Oshawott.
Okay.
And I think Oshawott on the way. I could be wrong. I had to order that one. Alakazam's now on my wall because I saw Alakazam. I was like, I didn't even know they did Alakazam. I was like, grabbing that, adding that to the pile. Yes, please.
Yeah,
like that was adorable. And
yeah.
Meowth was the other one because Meowth is looking absolutely adorable. Like, oh my god, how cute is that? But yeah, as soon as I got the Psyduck, I was like, I have to show everybody because Psyduck's so cute, man. I don't understand how the Pop Funko eyes make the Pokemon look more cute, but they do.
Yeah. I went out and bought one myself. I was like, God dang it, Ty, you got me over here buying Psyduck,
See, I think Power Rangers would work even better than what Funko realizes, because with Pokemon, there's 1,025 Pokemon as of now, and they're releasing Pokemon all left, right, and center. They haven't even finished 151 Pokemon yet, and they're already releasing Pokemon from Gen 8.
Dear God. Yeah, I just saw that
they're releasing the starter Pokemon from Gen 8. So it's just like, well, if you're not going to finish the first 150 but going to Gen 8, why can't we have Power Ranger stuff?
Yeah, exactly. That's the question. Yeah, I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe it's like licensing issues or something,
Yeah,
who knows?
I mean, the more money Funko Pop makes, the more, like, look at all the things they have been able to make. Like you said, they go through everything, all sorts of stuff. And it's insane because they're even doing, like, I don't know if you've seen, like, the scenes that they do, like movie scenes and stuff they've made into Funko Pops.
Oh,
and things like
yeah.
that, like the Avengers in the first Avengers film, all stood in a circle.
Yeah.
Loki pruning himself from Loki season 2, and all sorts of
Yeah.
like you can get. Imagine the Power Ranger one of
Exactly.
like all of them holding up their morphers or something. That'd be just like so epic.
Like, give us a civilian form like they did not too long ago. That'd be cool. Like, have them hold a morpher. I would buy that, you know?
Well, just think of all the teams that have corresponding civilian suits, Wild Force and all their jackets, Ninja Storm in their ninja outfits, things like that. That'd be so cool.
The Wind Rangers. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. Hold on. I got to breathe heavy for a second. That was a good one.
I got to win it, guys. I got to win it.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But it's just like, I've thought about this for a while. It's just like little things like you've got Ninja Steel in their ninja weird black hooded things that they wore.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's a bit weird looking, but that would work. Lightspeed Rescue, they all wear different. They got their jackets, but you know the Green Ranger has a hat. You know, and little things like this, little character details you could do. And then the villains, we haven't got things like Repulsor, Lord Zed. You could do Goldar. You could do, if you're doing other teams, do the main villain, possibly a general, of each team. That would work so well. Come on, like think of Lothar. You got Master Org. You said King Mondo. He'd actually be really cute as a Pop Funko.
Yeah.
Like, how adorable he'd be, the little Pop Funko thing. That'd just be epic.
But I feel like with King Mondo, you'd have to do like a 4-pack. You'd have to have King Mondo, his wife, the kid, and then the robot, the other robot with like the toy, the drawstring one. Yeah.
I can't believe they haven't done a Finster, and as a voice actor, a full Finster for 2 different people, Mark being one of them, I take that as offense that they haven't done Finster yet. Yeah. Like, come on, man.
It's like that scene off of The Office is like, I have so many questions. First of all, how dare you? Just
yeah.
That's how it be. It's all good. I mean, yeah.
When it comes to your podcast and Power Rangers and things, if you and Jim might have a different answer, it'd be kind of cool if you had 2 different answers. If you could bring, dead or alive, one of the Power Ranger actors, whether it's a voice actor, an actual ranger, or whatnot, who would you want to bring onto your podcast as a guest?
Ooh. I'd have to say Emmanuel, what's his name? Walter Jones. I would love to have Walter Jones as a guest on our podcast because he just feels like he has a lot of life in him, and like he has like a lot of stories, and like he has like the energy that we look for.
Well, I personally would say Cole, but I feel like there'd be some issues there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Cole killed a guy,
Yeah, so how's it like go from being a Lion Ranger to a Nylok to killing someone?
Yeah, to an inmate number, right?
Blazing Lion, inmate 726.
Oh dear God. Dear God, have him on his own little jumpsuit.
No, that'd be an interesting Pop Funko.
Oh my God.
On a serious note, I'd guess Adam.
That would be cool.
I don't know. Yeah. Justin, I think would be kind of cool because he was Power Ranger as a kid. I think that'd be kind of cool to see like how that affected him growing up. Because let's be honest, so many people hate Justin. So many people love Justin. It all depends on how you take on it.
I would totally have Nakia Burris and Catherine Sutherland because they actually have their own podcast and they're really funny people together.
That's Aisha and okay. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. They have their own podcast.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but they have their own podcast. Yeah, and they're pretty funny. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know they had their own podcast. Oh, that's kind of cool that they hang out and everything. That's awesome. So when it comes to things like, you started your own podcast, like you said, you give people a platform like me, like Cosplay 267, Mark and all that. if you could give anyone advice to doing podcasts, doing, the stuff you do, if anyone was seeking advice, what advice would you give them?
I would say take your time and don't get discouraged from like, because you're gonna look at numbers, you're gonna look at analytics, and like, are people listening to me, or this and that. Do it. I would say do it for the joy that it brings you and the friends that you come across later on. Because like, I got discouraged. I was like, nobody's listening to us. But then we found a group of people. We found friends. We found outside sources that have recommended shows for us that are amazing. And it's fun. And so I really don't look at numbers anymore. Occasionally here and there, I'll get notifications. But yeah, don't get discouraged. Like, have fun. Like, have fun with what you nerd out the most about, and take the ride for what it is, and enjoy the friends that you come across in the path of podcasting.
That's actually really solid advice, bro. That's awesome. I like that a lot. Yeah. And yeah, I totally agree. As an upcoming podcast myself, I'm only 4 episodes in, and I don't think I've checked the red circle like analytics for ages. I don't even think I don't even think I've checked Woody's episode. I don't think I have no idea what it's got,
And me and Jared, I talk to Jared all the time, and I'm like, and we're so proud that you actually took the step from story writing to actually doing a podcast. And like, we say the same thing, like, you got potential, like, it's there. We want to see it, and we'll do whatever we have to do to help you out in the way. And I think that's what we do with everybody. We always help everyone out. If you got something, hey, we're here to ask questions and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think when it comes to Mark, Willie, and myself, especially us three, because I know there's other content creators in the Discord. I know there's other people that do stuff, but we came to be us because of you and Jim, because of the podcast, because we found you guys. And, I'm always going to be grateful to you and Jim, always. I think Mark and Willie will agree with me on that one. Yep. We're always going to be grateful. We're always going to be thankful. It's because of your community, your podcast, that we found each other. And, me and Willie are best of friends. I'm actually meeting Mark in less than a month in person.
So you're gonna get pictures for that.
Oh yeah. So there's a Comic-Con 2 hours away from him, 3 hours away from us. But they meet because of that, they meet in the middle, sort of thing. So we have to wait until about 6 p.m. before we can leave, because I've got to take my son to his mum's house, and then we're going to pick up one of my friends. But me, my best mate, and my fiance are driving down to Exeter. Mark's going to meet us there. We're going in the same hotel. I'm going to meet Mark in person on that night. We're all going to go get food together. And the next day, we're going to Comic-Con.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm actually going to meet the Red Cornish Ranger in person. And I'm gonna geek out just for a second, but like, there's moments, and my fiance does it all the time. She says I've been doing this often, but there's moments where I'm like, holy crap, I get to meet Mark in person. That, like, it dawns upon me that, like, I actually get, like, me and Mark talk daily. We're best friends. We talk about stories. We're each other's voice actors. Blah blah blah. We're also, like, personally best friends in the sense of like, our kids are very close in age. His daughter turned 5 at the end of December. My son turns 5 at the beginning of March. Like, literally, our kids are very close in age. Yeah. So, like, we kind of, like, go back and forth of, is your kid doing this because of this age and they're like a brat? Yeah, we completely understand it. We're kind of like bouncing off each other on that. And, like, it's mad to think that in less than a month, I'll get to meet him in person. It's insane, and
it's fun. Yeah,
and I wouldn't have this experience. This is my first Comic-Con. I'm actually only going to Comic-Con because I'm meeting Mark. I wouldn't go else, and it's all because of you two. Is it all because I know William Mark because of the Zeo To Hero community, and it's just like, it all falls back on you two. So, like,
hey, there you go.
And a huge thank you to you and Jim. From the Three Ranger Bros, full and through. It's. Jim's very technical. You come out with, like, these awesome ideas and stuff. Like, you came up with you gave me a whole character to play with when it comes to my Power Rangers. You gave me a whole new character. Jim's very technical on the tech side of things. He gave me a way to do this podcast. He's helped Willie out a lot, and he's helped Mark out a lot. And it's just like, you're both very hands-on in different ways completely. All different totally. Directions. And you're very supportive and stuff, and we're all kind of grateful. And
I always listen to y'all. I always try to my best to listen to y'all stuff while I'm working and stuff. And so I always try to keep up with y'all because I love to see where y'all started and to where y'all are at now. Like the development of y'all's product, the stories, the collaborations. I love seeing it all. And what else to do it with y'all,
Yeah, and I think we listen to you too, because for example, my Marvel and DC stories, I'm currently going through a crossover, and you said to me that episode 2 was a bit hectic because there was 3 different teams. So this time for part 3, me and Mark and Willie spoke about it. There is still a lot of characters and a lot of teams and stuff, but I've actually split up in different acts. So it's part 3, act 1, part 3, act 2, part 3, act 3. So I'm actually splitting it up into different sections. So act 1 actually comes out in February. It revolves around my Spider-Man and only my Spider-Man. And then act 2 will revolve around a different characters. So it's easier to digest a little bit, basically. But yeah, it's I took the criticism. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put it all into one big episode after it's all released anyway. That's the plan, so you can listen to the whole thing in one go if anyone wanted to. So I'm cool with dividing up, especially this chapter, because this part is kind of the build up to the final event. That's all this part is. So I don't mind splitting off into different sections. I took the criticisms. I was like, all right, okay, I can do this. The last part isn't going to have all the characters in it. The last part is only going to have a handful of them dealing with the final boss sort of thing. So I took that. I was like, I'm happy with that. And I know for a fact that William Mark do the same thing. They take ideas and stuff. And hell, I mean, Willie's even turned all of you into Power Rangers.
And I unfortunately die in all the I'm always dying in these stories. What's up with that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
Every Billy that I've ever written ends up being a lovable, godlike person who never dies. I don't know what you're talking about.
You forgot corpse in it. Corpse.
I don't do anything of the start. You're lying.
Remember what they say.
Just like you lied about the Yeti sighting.
Oh, yeah. Deny.
Oh, wink, wink.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right, then, Billy. I've held you in the Nexus for too long. I think the Yeti's missing you.
All right.
If you have anywhere you want to shout out, anywhere you want to kind of give light to, this is your chance.
Well, you can follow us on our socials. We are Zeo To Hero. That's one word, and that's our name all across Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Facebook. We also have a Facebook group called Not Lightning Collection, and you could post your collections there. You can do whatever you want. Interact with us. It's fun. Definitely got to give a shout out to the 3 Ranger Bros, because y'all have come up with some pretty interesting stories that I have had the pleasure to listen to. And thanks again for the Tiger Nexus podcast to host me. And for future reference, we'll probably have Jim on to poke him with a stick. So
yes,
thanks, Ty.
I definitely want to have both of you on at some point in the future. We'll do a whole Zeo To Hero thing. But yeah, I mean, thank you for coming on, talking Power Rangers, being a nerd with me for a little while. We got to talk about all sorts of things, and I'd happily have you again at some point in the future. And
you just say the word, and I'll rush home because I don't want to keep you up late. So
nah, man, honestly, it's no bother, bro. Don't worry. And if you want to hear Billy in the stories that we talked about, go check out Tiger Tales and check out the Power Rangers story called Power Rangers: The Future Generations, and that's where you'll find a Lieb voiced by Billy, which I accidentally mispronounced in the first chapter he's in. I do apologize. I've rectified it in the next chapter. Anyway,
it's all good.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure that you check out the Tiger Nexus podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Give us a follow and subscribe on both those platforms, because, of course, that's where you'll find me. And, thank you, Billy, for joining in. And I shall see everyone in the next one.
All right, goodbye.